Hello everybody and welcome to week 3 of the WCSL Draft League. If I sound a little bit different, and if you notice that there's not a webcam up in this corner, I think it's this corner, yeah, normally for the team builder, that's because I'm actually on my laptop. I went home for fall break and I don't have my desktop computer, I don't have my nice editing software, I don't have my nice mic, so it sounds probably really bad. And originally I was planning on just recording the match. Spoiler alert, the match has already happened, and I have it right here. I'll have that pulled up for later, because let's turn that volume down just a little bit, like down to there. Spoiler alert, so that's already happened. But I was going to plan on recording the match, no audio, then just doing post-commentary when I got back to have my nice mic, nice setup. But then I remember that Nex usually likes to post the recaps on Monday, and I'm not going back till Tuesday. So I'm going to do this right here, right now. Scuffed audio, scuffed quality, terrible. But the match itself will still have some fire plays in it, I think. I know. So, going over the team builder real quick. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Gigalith, this is just enough bulk to live a... Oh, first of all, let's go over my opponent's team. My opponent this week is the Hermits Crabs, or I guess just Hermits Crabs, with Indeedee Female, Snorlax, Conkeldurr, Rio Nicholas, Hatterene, Cofagrigus, Malamar, Oranguru, Steelix, Crawdaunt, and Palisand. So looking at the team, it's like really hard Trick Room. He's got like 5 Trick Room setters like right here, and then just a bunch of slow Pokemon to take advantage of it, and then some redirection to keep everybody safe. Overall, very slow and very Trick Room oriented. Like his only mode is Trick Room, so I decided to try my best to take advantage of that. Gigalith has the nice perk of being 25 base speed, which is slower than every single one of his Pokemon. Hatterene is his slowest at 29 base speed, I think, and Gigalith is slower than that. So we've got Rock Slide, Superpower, and Throat Chop. Rock Slide just hits everything for pretty much neutral, except like Conkeldurr and Steelix and Palisand. Superpower is mostly for Snorlax if he was to bring it, and it hits Steelix as well. And then Throat Chop just hits Indeedee, Rio Nicholas, Cofagrigus, and Oranguru and Palisand. Originally I had Heavy Slam there for Hatterene, but then I'm like, is he really going to bring Hatterene into like an Excadrill team? I didn't know. So that's the Gigalith. The Life Orb just does tons of damage. It was enough to, I think, Life Orb plus this amount of attack plus Superpower is plus a Helping Hand boosted Superpower is a guaranteed KO on pretty much any Snorlax, like even as bulky as they can get. And this HP and defense is just enough to live a Life Orb adaptability Crab Hammer from Crawdaunt 15 out of 16 times. So there's a 10% chance for it to miss because it's a 90% accurate move, and then there's a 4% chance for it to kill on top of that. So that's very, very low odds. It's like 1 in 40, I think, or something. Because it'd be 0.04 when you factor in the accuracy. So that's, yeah, very good odds to live there. So I decided not to put like the extra, like, I would need like 80 or 90 EVs to guaranteed live it. I'm like, it's pretty much in my favor to live it. That's after an Intimidate, by the way, from Stoutland, who's our partner, one of our partners for Gigalith. The 2 leads that I had in mind were Gigalith Stoutland and Gigalith Excadrill. So Stoutland, I had the choice between Payback and Crunch for a Dark-type move. I decided Payback because Stoutland's slower than my opponent's entire team, and Payback doubles in power if you move after them. So by being slower, that means under Trick Room, Payback is going to be a base 100 Dark-type move on like Rio Nicholas, Hatterene, Cofagrigus, Oranguru, because these guys are all slower than me under Trick Room, or they're all faster than me under Trick Room, so I'll be going second. The only Pokemon that I'm going to hit for tons of damage outside of Trick Room is Indeedee, because Indeedee's going to use Follow Me, which is priority. It goes first, then it gets hit by a base 100 power Dark-type move. And then I have Superpower. This Superpower is for Crawdaunt. This Expert Belt plus this amount of attack is guaranteed to kill max HP Crawdaunt. So this was like my Crawdaunt insurance. Then I've got Helping Hand to help Gigalith pick up a kill on like Snorlax or Steelix with Superpower. And then Protect, because I want to protect on pretty much everybody this week to stall at the Trick Room. Next up is Excadrill. This one's actually pretty cool, because we've got High Horsepower, Rock Slide, Fling, and Protect with max attack, and then min speed. So with the Iron Ball, that means that we're hitting, like 41 speed, 41.5, rounds down to 41. That's useful for Conkeldurr, because Conkeldurr hits 45 speed. So we're slower than Conkeldurr under Trick Room. And we're slower than, so let's see, we're slower than Indeedee, we're slower than Conkeldurr, we're slower than Malamar, and Crawdaunt. That's about it. But like the Trick Room setters honestly aren't doing too much to Excadrill, so that's fine. And the like because the guys that are slower are gonna be like Reuniclus, Hatterene, Cofagrigus, Oranguru maybe. I don't actually know how slow it is, and Steelix. Steelix is a big one, but being slower than Conkeldurr and what's it called? Not Clawitzer. Crawdaunt is very good. And then we have Fling on it, so if like we know Trick Room's about to end, or if we think that my opponent is gonna not set up Trick Room, I can Fling that and then be faster than everybody pretty much. Fling also it has the added benefit of doing like 60 to 70, not 60, it's like 50 to 60% to physically defensive Cofagrigus and like 80 to 90 to specially defensive. So that's very nice to have just a big chunk on Cofagrigus. Then we've got Togetic. This special attack is enough for a critical hit Dazzling Gleam, and we've got Super Luck, so crits are 1/4 of 25% chance. Critical hit Dazzling Gleam will KO Crawdaunt after 1 turn of Sand Chip and 1 turn of Life Orb Chip. So that's useful for that. Then we've got Follow Me to redirect. Then we got Helping Hand for like Gigalith and Gigalith and friends, and then Protect to stall at the Trick Room. I believe this defense is enough to live. I think it's a burned. It's a Guts Conkeldurr burned Poison Jab. I think we'll live that, or maybe 2 Ice. Can we live 2 Ice Punches? Yeah, I think we can probably live 2 Iron Fist Ice Punches. I'm not certain which one I went for, but those were 2 things that I calced for. And the rest is just for special defense because he's got a lot of Psychic types. Next up is Klefki with Dazzling Gleam, Light Screen, Reflect, Misty Terrain. This was the one that I didn't think would really come. I just wanted to have Klefki because it was super helpful in week 1, because the screens help stall out Trick Room very well. So if like my Trick Room slow Pokemon were to die, then I could use this guy to stall out the last turns and let someone clean up at the end. Dazzling Gleam obviously hits Conkeldurr and Crawdaunt without being redirected by by Indeedee. And then I thought Misty Terrain could be really cool because it changes off the Psychic terrain. So like if my opponent was going to use Expanding Force, expecting a spread move, like and then because when they click a spread move, they might just click like on Klefki, right? Expecting it to like just hit both of them. Like they would never, like they might not like target Gigalith. They might just click like the first Pokemon in the slot that they see. So Misty Terrain could actually save Gigalith by doing that, by making it not a spread move. Then they hit Klefki, and then Gigalith lives a turn longer than it should have. That's kind of a long shot, but it's also nice to not have the extra power added to it. But then another thing, because that wasn't enough to sell me on Misty Terrain. But then I was thinking about it, and I realized that they could go. I figured the Cofagrigus would probably be Iron Defense Body Press. But then I realized that they might actually go Will-O-Wisp, because I do have 3 physical attackers, and then like even more if you count Salamence, and I guess just Salamence is the only one I didn't bring. So they might go Will-O-Wisp. I figured Iron Defense was more likely, but the chance of Will-O-Wisp was enough to sell me on Misty Terrain, because like I'm not gonna need Thunder Wave in a matchup versus Trick Room, and I can't use like Switcheroo or anything like that because of the Psychic terrain. Another added benefit of Misty Terrain is that it means that Conkeldurr cannot get a burn from a Flame Orb if I was to go for that, which is cool. Then Rotom's the last one with the Power Band, which is going to half its speed, but without getting rid of its ground immunity, ground immunity like Iron Ball does, because Iron Ball makes you grounded. This one just halves your speed, no added benefit. Then we look at the stats. Oh, sorry, I'm stretching. My back hurts from this chair that I'm sitting in. Max HP and then enough defense. I believe this is enough defense to switch in on a Iron Fist, Conkeldurr, Drain Punch, and then take an Ice Punch also on top of that. So we can switch in on a Drain Punch and then take an Ice Punch on top of it. We got Thunderbolt just for neutral coverage. It also one-shots Crawdaunt. But the big benchmark that we hit with 116 Modest is we two-shot. Yeah, we one-shot Assault Vest Conkeldurr with Helping Hand boosted Air Slash, and we two-shot Assault Vest Conkeldurr with Air Slash. And then we will two-shot non-specially defensive Cofagrigus with Dark Pulse. So those are the benchmarks that we hit with this. So that's the team. And I guess we can just get into the battle, right? Let's maximize this, full screen it. Wait, let me make sure we're still recording. Yes, we are. Okay, full screen it. Boop. let's turn that down a little bit just so I can hear myself. Okay, so let's get into this. I'll do some live commentary. It's only 20 minutes long. Alright, so he's brought Hatterene, Oranguru, Crawdaunt, Indeedee, Cofagrigus, and Conkeldurr. So, looking at this team, I was initially surprised because I didn't expect Hatterene, because he brought a Fairy type to my... Well, I guess it's just Excadrill. Maybe he didn't expect Excadrill to come. But either way, I pretty much knew for sure that I was going to lead with the Rock. And then the question here was, do I lead the Rock plus Nick Cage or the Rock plus Keanu Reeves? I did an actor nickname theme this week. I was actually my opponent messaged me like 30 minutes before we were supposed to play and told me he was ready whenever, so I had to scramble to get all my stuff together. So I've got the Rock, obviously. Nick Cage because a dog could live in a cage. Keanu Reeves because he's wholesome Chungus. Kevin Hart. Originally, Kevin Hart was the second one that I did. I did it because he was small, but then I realized I could have done Jordan Peele, so that I could have Keegan Michael Key, and then Jordan Peele to have like Key and Peele, like a little funny theme. And then I have RDJ because I'm a fan of him. So this match I went with The Rock, Keanu Reeves, Kevin Hart, and RDJ. Basically, my opponent doesn't know any of my items right now. So I'm going to try to catch him off guard with my Iron Ball Excadrill and my Power Band Rotom, Game 1. The worst lead that my opponent can do for me is Indeedee plus... I always forget this Pokemon's name. Crawdaunt. Indeedee Crawdaunt is the worst lead that my opponent can do because all my Pokemon are slower than Crawdaunt outside of Trick Room. So basically, if he sets up Trick Room in this game for me, then I'm good. But Game 2, I'm hoping that he won't... Basically, Game 2, I'm going to lead... My plan is to lead Stoutland to catch the Crawdaunt on the lead and try to kill it, like, immediately. Because if he doesn't set up Trick Room for me, Crawdaunt's very hard to deal with unless I have Stoutland. So here, I'm kind of just expecting a Follow Me Trick Room. So I'm obviously going to Rock Slide with Gigalith. The question is, do I Rock Slide with Excadrill or do I go for High Horsepower? Because a Rock Slide from Excadrill plus a Rock Slide from Gigalith plus Sandchip and then a second Rock Slide from Gigalith it's just barely not enough to guarantee a KO on fully physically defensive Indeedee. So that's kind of scary. So I eventually decide to go for High Horsepower just so that I can guarantee that the Indeedee is dead by next turn. Because if I went for Rock Slide with Excadrill, it wouldn't barely just do not enough damage. Or if I got 3 low rolls. So I decided to go for the guaranteed. So I hit the High Horsepower. Huge damage. That's Sand Force boosted. And then I miss both targets with Rock Slide on Gigalith. So he gets a Trick Room up for free. I'm kind of upset about that, but like I'm actually in a really good spot because I can just kill the Indeedee immediately with Rock Slide. And Excadrill isn't really in a... Oh, that's what made it bad, because the Sand put him right in range for that berry, which I think that means it's going to stick around for another turn, because it's not going to die to a Rock Slide right now. So my question is, what do I do with Excadrill? Do I just, right now I'm expecting either another Follow Me, or an Expanding Force, or maybe even a Helping Hand from the Indeedee. I don't really know what it's doing. But the Hatterene, I'm kind of expecting to go for a Mystical Fire onto Excadrill. So he does go for Helping Hand. I think he's expecting his Indeedee to go down to Rock Slide here. Excadrill going for Protect, anticipating a Mystical Fire. Here's a Rock Slide coming out. And they both live, but Maple Syrup takes a lot, which tells me that that's an offensive Hatterene. And then he flinches, which is unfortunate for my opponent, but flinch is a lot more likely than a double Rock Slide miss. And if I had hit the first one, I wouldn't have needed a flinch there, so I didn't feel too bad about getting lucky. So I know that both these Pokemon are going to go down to Rock Slide this turn, assuming I hit both. So I'm considering, since Excadrill can't really do anything on this turn, because like if I attacked, like I could guarantee that I hit both of them, but it's as long as I hit both, Excadrill's turn would be wasted. So I decided to switch out into Kevin Hart the Togetic. My opponent's thinking about what to do here. I think they're worried, yeah, because both of these Pokemon will go down to Rock Slide, so he's trying to figure out what to do. I don't remember what he does. Does he just sack both? He either sacks both or he switches. I don't know what he does. I forgot. So Kevin Hart comes in. He goes for Follow Me. And I do miss Waffles with the Rock Slide. But Maple Syrup does go down, which is fine. So that's 1 kill for Gigalith this week. This far. So far. That tells me that Togetic is slower than Indeedee, but I mean, who was doubting that? And then Waffles does go down to the Sandstorm. And now my opponent's going to have to reveal his last 2, and I've got 4 left at this point. So it's Vegemite, the Cofagrigus, and Captain Crunch, the Conkeldurr. So I'm not sure what to do, because honestly this is not a great position for the Rock to be in. Actually, it's fine. Basically, the Rock has kind of served its purpose in this match. So at this point, I'm just considering getting some chip damage on one or both of them. And I eventually decided to just superpower the Captain Crunch. Because revealing superpower here actually has a benefit of maybe dissuading the what's it called? What's the crab? Fuck, I always forget it. The crab Pokemon. What is it called? It's not Clowitzer. My brain wants to say Clowitzer. Crawdaunt. Showing superpower here dissuades Crawdaunt from coming game 2 a little bit, because he knows I have it. And here's Dazzling Gleam. That actually does a ton of damage to Captain Crunch. And he goes for close combat. I was just kind of stacking Gigalith there. I didn't need it for anything else. But Gigalith is actually going to pick up a KO from beyond the grave with Sandstorm Chip here. So Kevin Hart is slower than the Conkeldurr, but that's guaranteed because it's 40 speed, Conkeldurr space 45, I think. Alright, so we revealed leftovers there. We don't know what the item on Conkeldurr is, but I'm like fairly certain that it's not Assault Vest based on how much damage my Dazzling Gleam did. Right here, I realized that I had not written down anything for the entire match, so I was writing down that the Indeedee had Helping Hand, Follow Me, the Hatterene had Trick Room, the Indeedee was Wiki Berry, Conkeldurr had revealed Close Combat, and probably not Assault Vest. I was assuming Flame Orb at this point, and I didn't know, because he died in 1 turn, so we didn't actually see the Flame Orb activate, but I figured it wasn't Assault Vest. So RDJ comes in. I was planning on going for a Dark Pulse, but then I'm like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't reveal Dark Pulse. Maybe I should go back, because I'm in such a lead that I can just use Thunderbolt and make my opponent think that I don't have Dark Pulse. So I'm going to go for Thunderbolt, Follow Me, expecting that my opponent is going to go for Body Press. And I don't really want like a super mega crit to kill, but because Body Press does absolutely nothing to Togetic. Like, literally nothing. And that's plus 2 Body Press, by the way, from base 145 defense stat. Literally nothing. So there's the Thunderbolt. Yeah. There's the leftovers. Oh, that was another thing I wrote down. I wrote down leftovers and Iron Defense on Cofagrigus. And that was, I think, all the information I had. So Psychic Terrain ends, Trick Room ends, and the Sandstorm all ends on the same turn. I actually didn't see the Trick Room end. I missed it, so I just wanted to make sure that it actually did end, and there's no Trick Room Extender item that they added in the Crown Tundra that I just never heard about. And here I'm just going for moves. I think that was a misplay on my opponent's part. In fact, I'm certain of it, because revealing Ally Switch is something that you never want to do unless you absolutely have to, because Ally Switch is a secret that you best hold. You got to keep that secret until you need to pull it out, because that can actually win you games. In fact, it has won me games just by withholding the information that I had Ally Switch and then revealing it later. Although I hear my audio. I literally heard me just talk about Ally Switch in the game. I think the audio is actually in there, but it's so quiet compared to the actual game audio. That's so funny. So my commentary is still here. I only heard it when it got quiet. I'm actually not going to mess with it, so. You guys definitely won't be able to hear that, because I'm going to have to turn this audio way down so that my voice will actually play over it. So yeah, game 2. This time I'm expecting the Crawdaunt and Indeedee to lead, because I'm just kind of assuming that my opponent... Well, I guess my opponent never really saw that I was Iron Ball. And in that last game, I don't think they... Because the Conkeldurr had already gone down, the only Pokemon that my opponent saw Rotom interact with was Cofagrigus, which is already slower than Rotom, even with Power Band. So my opponent did not know that Rotom was Power Band this game, which I was going to use because he didn't know that. So, in fact, I hadn't revealed any items, I don't think, other than Life Orb and Eviolite. But still, I was worried that my opponent would... Because Indeedee, Crawdaunt was still really good against Excadrill, even if I was fast Excadrill, because he could still follow me away any strong moves. The only move I could hit him with was Rock Slide. Or Earthquake if I had it, but he didn't. I don't think Earthquake is super great on Gigalith, Excadrill. You have to protect Gigalith. So Vegemite, Captain Crunch, he did change his lead. The Rock and Nick Cage coming out. That's a good Intimidate on the Conkeldurr. So, here, I am worried about... What am I worried about? Not much, honestly. Well, I mean, obviously, Conkeldurr's really good versus my lead. But, I've got 2 fighting resists in the back, right? So it's like, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can have him set up Trick Room for me, and then get my flying types in right here, because he's either going to, I'm figuring he's not Assault Vest Conkeldurr, so that means he's probably, that means he isn't, like, locked out of Protect, right? Like, he could Protect if he wanted to, if he had it, and if he's Flame Orb, chances are he probably has Protect, right? So, I'm like, maybe he protects Conkeldurr Trick Rooms. Worst case scenario, he just attacks with Close Combat into one of these 2. It's -1, and it's going to be resisted, so I feel pretty comfortable double switching, because the Cofagrigus is probably going to try to set Trick Room here. So he's thinking about what he's doing. He's probably deciding on the Conkeldurr move, because the Cofagrigus most likely should just Trick Room here. Look at my trainer, he's all swagged out. So there's RDJ. And here comes, who's it, Kevin Hart? Yeah, Kevin Hart. He did end up protecting the Conkeldurr. And he does go for Trick Room. So that's a pretty decent spot for me, because now the only thing slower than me is the Cofagrigus, and it's not even set up to +2, so he's also revealed all 4 moves, being Trick Room, Body Press, Iron Defense, and Ally Switch. So, yeah, Rotom's not in danger, like, at all. Neither of these guys are in danger from the Cofagrigus, so I can kind of just ignore it. And maybe this is what my opponent was trying to do game 1 by showing off Ally Switch, because now it's a 50-50 on whether I think he Ally Switches or not. Because but I mean, I think it's still much better if he didn't, right? Because right now it's a 50-50, but in the last game, I would have just assumed that he had Shadow Ball or Protect as his last move. Either way, I decide to go for the Air Slash into the Conkeldurr slot, expecting him to not Ally Switch, and maybe either switch the Cofagrigus or do something else. I don't know. It was a 50-50, but, I mean, if he had just not revealed it last game, he could have done it right here. And then probably not taking a kill, because both of these guys can... Well, I guess Rotom was calced for Iron Defense, so yeah, Rotom was calced for Iron Fist, Ice Punch. It may have died to a Guts Ice Punch. I don't actually know. So here's a Helping Hand Air Slash onto the Oranguru slot. Since I knew he wasn't Assault Vest, that actually is guaranteed to kill the Conkeldurr. At least max HP Conkeldurr. And it does pretty good damage to Oranguru for being a base 75 power attack. Applejacks. So this tells me... This is important, because this tells me that if my opponent was paying attention, they would know that my Rotom is slower than Crawdaunt, because they just saw it take Sandstorm Chip before Crawdaunt. And since my opponent actually saw it last turn too. My opponent saw the Sandstorm Chip on Rotom before Conkeldurr, so if they were paying attention, they would know that I was slower. And I figured, maybe they do actually know that I'm slower, because they switched out Conkeldurr when they could have just gone for Ice Punch if they thought they were slower. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is that my opponent has a 50-50 between... If they saw that I was slower, they should go for Aqua Jet here. And if they think that they're faster, they should go for Crab Hammer or Liquidation, whichever one they have. So if they go for Crab Hammer, I don't need to do it. I can Helping Hand with Togetic or just attack. And if they think that they're faster under Trick Room, then they go for Liquidation, and I need to follow me. I'm under the assumption that they saw that I was faster, so I go for Follow Me, and they didn't see that they were faster, or they didn't see that I was faster than them, so they just let their Crawl Up go down immediately to a Thunderbolt. But either way, even if they gone for Aqua Jet, the chip doesn't really matter. And then this is interesting because they went for Instruct on Togetic. I don't really know what they were trying to do. I don't know what that was about. That didn't make any sense to me. They must have timed out or something. I don't know. Because if they had gone for Instruct on Crawdaunt, it would have failed because it doesn't auto-target to your opponent's side. It will fail if you target your partner and then they die. So I don't know what that was about at all. Then we go for Helping Hand here. I think at this point I'm just gonna... Oh no, I just had to Dazzling Gleam Air Slash here. It's pretty much the same. Without Assault Vest, this should kill as long as I hit. I think what I was trying to cover for was get a little bit of chip on the Oranguru, and also, in case I miss, at least I get a little bit of damage on the Conkeldurr, because Air Slash does have 95% accuracy. So this is going to kill the Captain Crunch. And the Instruct, and as you see, that's how it should work if you target your partner. It should just fail. I don't know why he's not, like, Psychicking. He could be getting chip on Rotom. But at this point, there's not much that my opponent can do. Neither of his Pokemon in the back can do damage to either of these two flying types. Because he's got Kofagrigus with only Body Press in the back. And I believe Trick Room is going to wear off next turn, not this turn. So I'm just going to go for Dazzling Gleam, get Togetic a KO on Cocoa Pops. And Dark Pulse, I'm going to reveal it. No reason not to at this point. It's game 2, and I think I'm winning. So he's thinking Iron Defense, just getting that set up. And there's the Dazzling Gleam. Togetic picking up a KO on Oranguru and getting some chip on Vegemite. And the Dark Pulse coming out onto the Vegemite, and that will not quite take it out, so it'll die next turn. And the Twisted Dimensions return to normal. It's actually interesting, because I don't know why... Oh, it's because they're Speed Type, that's what it is. I was about to say, because Togetic actually goes first here, but Rotom has 81 speed, right? But it's halved, which means it becomes 40.5. So they're actually Speed Type at base 40 speed. Sorry about the scuffed video quality. I just noticed that there's like screen tearing and shit. I guess that's what you just get from a $20 capture card, right? It's better than nothing. So I'm fine with that. Oh, you can barely hear my my commentary. I was talking about my item hiding skills on hiding my Power Band Game 1. But that's the match. What the fuck is this? Oh god. So if you've enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, and hopefully I'll have my video and audio quality much better next week for week 4. But I'll see you then, and take care.